Hey everybody, it's Glenn, back in this video with Darth Vader from the Star Wars Elite series, which is them their die-cast action figures exclusive to the Disney store. Yet this ain't no ordinary action figure review, no siree, it's an action figure comparison with Hasbro's version from the Black Series. So as the two go toe-to-toe and nose-to-nose, you know how these things work. We take a look at the various aspects of each version, comparing sculpt, deco, accessories and articulation. Then we fight endlessly in the comments over just which one is best. So side by side like this, and an immediate difference is the scale. With Hasbro's Black Series being strictly 6" in scale, yet Vader's character being a whopper, their version on the right of the screen here actually stands a shade over 6.5 inches tall. Meanwhile, the scale of the Elite series has been a bit all over the place, but their Vader here stands just a tad over 7 inches. Now, a bit of Googling has revealed to me that Darth Vader stands 6 feet and 8 inches, so in a 6" scale where 1 inch equals 1 foot, then the accurate height for a Darth Vader action figure would actually be somewhere between these two. Another very noticeable difference is the treatment in capes, with the Elite Series 1 receiving a hard vinyl cape, and I actually prefer it. I like the sculpted in detail of the dramatic creases. Those give me a real sense of it swishing back and forth as he strides along. Alternatively, Hasbro's Black Series has a fabric cape, which I know some of you will absolutely love, as a bit of tatty fabric gets stuck on any old action figure and suddenly you act like you've splashed out on a Hot Toys or something. And I get the logic of Vader actually wearing a fabric cape, so should his action figure, yet on this small scale fabric never really hangs particularly well and ends up just looking clumsy and awkward really. And I do admit this is better than many an action figure I've seen with a fabric cape, yet still some ugly frayed edges make it look less made by Hasbro and more homemade by your grandma. When it comes to the sculpt, I will credit Hasbro with paying more attention to detail. For instance, if you look at the pleated parts of the costume on the arms and legs there, and I just get a really good sense of surface texture in the sculpt. But a tick in the box for the Elite Series 1 is that it being die-cast metal, it has a great glossiness to it, and it's hard not to be seduced by the ooh shininess of it. Now taking a close look at the head sculpts, or helmet sculpts more appropriately I guess, and I have to admit neither of them has me completely wowed. I mean, I guess I'd say the Elite Series 1 is better, yet it's still missing that certain je ne sais quoi. As for the Hasbro one, those big, brown, sad eyes make me think less of the dark side and more of a dark Labrador retriever begging for scraps at the dinner table. As for the chain on the Hasbro one, I think it's admirable that Hasbro tried to capture the minutiae of that detail in mixed media. It was a worthwhile experiment for sure, but for me I just don't like it. I know, like his fabric cape, it will have its fans. Yet ultimately it's a subtlety of the costume design that, I hate to break out another canine analogy, but here it's got the clumsiness of the kind of chain you'd stick around the neck of a junkyard dog. But the Hasbro helmet is removable to reveal Anakin Skywalker underneath. Oh, spoiler alert. I think it's a cool feature and a bit of a bonus really. Hasbro could have saved themselves a couple of cents and not done it, and I don't think there'd have been a huge outcry, hey, why isn't his helmet removable? Now, a downside to removable helmets on action figures is that once removed it reveals a bit of a pinhead. Either that or you get a normal sized head and then a dark helmet from Spaceballs sized helmet to accommodate it. In that way it just always seems to be a bit of a pick your poison scenario, and here they chose to make Anakin's head a bit small in scale, which is probably for the better, as I think most will display it with the Darth Vader helmet on, and the Anakin head underneath is a bit of a bonus. Now looking at their accessories, and of course both come with Vader's signature red lightsaber. The Black Series one is this shorter one. It's also more orange in colour and has a chunkier hilt. On the Elite one, the black of the deco on the hilt extends onto the blade, which kind of bugs me. And a bonus of the Hasbro one is the blade is removable, which gives you another posing option. Now if you watched my review of the Elite Series Kylo Ren, you might remember he had the barest grip on his lightsaber. Well, I'm pleased to say they didn't repeat that mistake here with Vader. He has a nice tight grip, but is it too long, this lightsaber? What do you think? I'm just noticing actually it's got a slight bend to it that I'll need to straighten it out. And of course it's worth noting that the ugly eyesore screw holes that have plagued this Elite series are there on Vader. Fortunately with his cape they're hiding them. When it comes to the left hand of each of them, which is the hand not sculpted to hold the lightsaber, and I love the dynamic gestural sculpt of the hand of the Elite Series one much more than the Black Series one. Just looking at it, look at the drama of those fingers. I can almost feel my windpipe being crushed. Now looking at articulation, and the heads of each do rotate. On the Black Series one with the removable helmet, it's a bit tricky to pose because the helmet always wants to pop off. They look down about the same amount, but then the Black Series one looks up much more. At the shoulders, the arms of each rotate and then they move up, or the Elite Series more so. At the elbow, Hasbro's Black Series has rotation, then they're both hinged to pose about the same degree, and then at the wrist there's rotation, but then additionally Hasbro's is hinged moving down and up. Both have waist rotation. At the hips on the Elite one, you'd think that heavy vinyl skirt inhibits the articulation. It doesn't, but only because there really isn't that much articulation there to begin with. With the hips of the Black Series one, it is a different story. I mean, they don't move out super far, but they move really far forward, and they do move back. There's upper leg rotation. The Elite Series knees are single jointed as opposed to the Black Series double jointed ones, and then the Elite has ankle rotation, then both have ankle hinges, then additionally, the Black Series one has that ankle rocker pivot that I love. And taking advantage of that ankle pivot, this is Vader standing at his widest stance possible, still with both feet flat on the floor. And while it's really difficult for me to choose a figure with no ankle pivot over one that does, yeah, I am siding with the Elite Series one in this comparison. And I say that as I just think it has a greater presence about it. And yes, I know Hasbro's is more articulated, which means many of you will favour it just for that reason. But for me, it's lacking the posability where you need it. Sure, it's more articulated in the hips, knees and ankles, but this is Darth Vader, not Darth Maul. He's not going to be flipping around. In the arms, it's not that much more posable than the Elite Series one. And I'm not just talking about Vader here, but the entire Black Series, really. These are characters from a galaxy where they're wielding blasters and lightsabers. So sure, this Vader has the articulation in the hips, you can pose him goose-stepping like Adolf Hitler, but we need double-jointed elbows so we can stage some of these great lightsaber battles. Anyway, to see the Elite Series Darth Maul in a comparison with his Hasbro Black Series counterpart, click the video on the left. And it's not long now, but if you are chomping at the bit for some Star Wars The Force Awakens, then click the video on the right for the Riot Control Stormtrooper and Poe Dameron Black Series 2-pack, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.